Top 10 Kanto Pokemon. So a pretty quick disclaimer, all these Pokemon are my own preferences. It's completely subjective. It's all my own opinion, so don't stress out in the comments or whatever. And besides that, all the music is composed by the original composer, but it's entirely played by me. Pretty big hassle. So let's start with the number 10. And at number 10, you can find, sadly enough, not Magikarp. And also not a shiny Magikarp. Even though 500 Poké dollars is a pretty good deal. Now, one of my favorite Pokemons is one of the legendary birds. As you can see, it's Zapdos. Zapdos has always been like a pretty special one for me. It had like a very nice Pokemon card. I do not like the Zapdos design of the coming expansion of Pokemon, but still. At number 9, you can find Alakazam. And Alakazam is a pretty neat Pokemon. I do remember it from the old episodes in the old Pokemon games. And you always had like the funny joke. Abra, Kadabra, Alakazam. With its pre-evolutions. And where I remember it most from was like the episode where it became Gigantamax, you can say, Alakazam, and then versus Gengar. And it always has been, in my opinion, a pretty strong Pokemon. With its speed and special attack, it could destroy entire Pokemon teams. And the Sabrina gym was one of the toughest ones in the beginning. And that's number 8. You can already hear it, the creepy music. No, it's not Clefable, but it is the shadow of Clefable. Some say, say it's Clefable that has been risen from the dead. But Gengar, we already saw Gengar in the previous number, but I do like it a lot. It has a pretty cool and unique design. As I said, the fight against Alakazam, it had an entire episode with its jokes, and it's currently a Pokemon owned by Ash in the anime. At number 7, Gyarados. I think for most people this would not be a surprise, but Gyarados is like a pretty neat Pokemon with its design. It's the pre-evolution of Magikarp, and as we know with Magikarp, it was golden in its pre-evolution state, but sadly enough when it evolves it becomes not golden but red in its shiny form. That's to me a pretty big disappointment. I would love a golden Gyarados. And at number 6... No, it's not Pikachu, it's a sad Pikachu. But why is he sad? Because Scyther did destroy his ketchup bottle. It's like an entire episode about Scyther in a dojo. And Scyther got ketchup in his eyes and he got crazy. It's a pretty funny episode in the old days. So yeah, Scyther does evolve in Scizor. You need a metal coat for it if I remember correctly. I do like Scyther not because of its strength, but because of its design. And at number 5, what do we have? This one is a big surprise, I think, to everybody. Pidgeot. Pidgeot has a special place in my heart because it's the first Pokemon that I actually used to beat the Elite Four in the original games. So it beat Lorelei, the guy who I always forget its name, Agatha and Lance. So that was pretty unique. It was like level 70 or something when I beat the Elite Four, and I was around 8 or 9 years old. So that's why. At number 4, we have our big boy, Snorlax. I really do like Snorlax a lot. It was a funny Pokemon when it was always sleeping, but when it was awoken with the Pokeflute, it was like a powerhouse. It became crazy. It could destroy almost every opponent. And I also did use it a lot in the Pokemon games with its rest and then some leftovers. And later you had a Bellydrum. Pretty nice Pokemon. At number 3, the top 3 already. Number 3 we have Dragonite. Most people know Dragonite from Lens, but I actually know it from somebody else. It was during the Indigo League, where Ash actually won for the first time. That was pretty nice. And he was... I cannot quite remember his name, I have to Google it later. I don't know. But there was also like a special episode with Dragonite where it became like huge, like Gigantamax in the first season of Pokemon. And I myself actually did use Dragonite with its multi-skill. And I think I got that in... I think it was Pokemon Gold, and there was like a special event where you could get a Dratini with a special ability unlocked, and then you could get a Dragonite with multi-skill. I believe that was it. But let's continue to number 2. This sounds... must be familiar to most people. At number 2 I have Mewtwo. I didn't like the movie that much with the remake of Mewtwo Strikes Back. But the original I did like a lot. You had Dr. Fuji and the bit scary experiments that he did. And the way how Mewtwo got created, I have to say. Shiny form, I'm still hunting to get a shiny, as most people know, watch the streams. And at number 1 of all the 151 Kanto Pokemon, to me there can only be one Pokemon that wins them all. And I think it's a favorite of many people. And it's also my favorite. Because at the beginning of every adventure you have to choose a Pokemon. And there's only 3 options. You can choose Charmander, Squirtle, or Bulbasaur. I think it's even in that order. And I did choose, of course, every time Charmander. And my favorite one is Charizard. And I remember very fondly his battle with Magmar in the Pokemon anime. That was pretty cool. And of course his obedience, that he never did follow the rules that Ash said. And in my own canon I always thought he was like way too high level and Ash didn't have the badges, so that would probably be the reason why he didn't listen to him. And a funny story, I actually did use Charizard in the first Pokemon games, but I already got it evolved in the second town, so the town after Peloton, because I simply could not get past the guy that was laying on the ground, and I was thinking maybe I'm just not strong enough, so I will train my Charmander, and I eventually evolved into a Charmeleon and then in a Charizard, and I still could not pass, because I am natively not an English speaker. But yeah, I figured it out, I think a year later maybe. But that's my first introduction with Charizard, and it's from that day still my favorite. So yeah, that was my top 10. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you did like it.